Wizard, when it comes to DCEU and the Fox X-Men universe, who fumbled the ball more? They seem more like franchises that never reached their full potential. I would, to a dramatic extent, say that the DCEU botched things on the whole. And the simple answer for that is that the Fox X-Men universe predates the MCU by 8 years. So its development predates Iron Man by 10, 12 years. It's one of the movies that started to cut the path for the modern era of comic book movies that changed the game. To the extent, Kevin Feige's introduction to the world of producing comic book movies starts with the first X-Men movie. So they laid the foundation for all of this. But that means they didn't get the benefit of it. Kevin Feige learned all these lessons producing movies prior to Iron Man. And he was able to go, this didn't work, this worked. Okay, if I were going to do this, here's what I would do differently. And if we did this, then we build off of that with the intention of it being a shared universe. So it was built into it from the beginning. Whereas X-Men, it was like, can you do X-Men and have it be taken seriously? How do you do that? And they cracked the code in a lot of ways. Bryan Singer, Kevin Feige, some of the other people that worked on it, David Hayter, they cracked the code that Kevin Feige then continued and expanded upon with the MCU. Contrast that with the DCEU, which was a couple things happened, but the start of the DCEU was during the writing of The Dark Knight Rises. They got some writer's block. And so Christopher Nolan and David Goyer went off to kind of do their own things, clear their minds a little bit, and come back to it to try and fix the problems in the script. And while doing that, David Goyer started reading some Superman comics, gotten an idea in his head for a pitch for a Superman movie he was excited about, pitched it to Nolan, and Nolan went, oh yeah, I like that. If you decide to write that, I'll produce it, and I'll call some people to see if we can get it made. And at the time this happened, this is Christopher Nolan, as if there's a point in time in the last 15 years where Christopher Nolan didn't have an enormous amount of sway. But, he's coming off The Dark Knight, coming off Inception, and he calls up Warner Brothers and says, hey, I've got an idea for a Superman movie. Talk to my guy. They immediately go, let's do it. And then, because Nolan didn't want to direct it, they hire Zack Snyder. And they do Man of Steel. But it was not designed to be a shared universe either. It was coming after a shared universe was working. And by the time Man of Steel comes out, we're a year past Avengers that makes $1.5 billion. And DC wants to catch up. And so right after Man of Steel comes out, they announce at Comic-Con, we're doing Batman v Superman. We're going to get there real quick. We're going to throw them together really quickly. And so they started rushing to recapture the magic. And so they were rushing it very early on off a foundation that wasn't designed to be a shared universe. And then they got cold feet. They started micromanaging, ruining things in very weird ways from the beginning, and they never really recovered. Versus Fox X-Men, 2 good movies, a bad one. Or two good movies, 2 bad ones. 2 great ones and a good one. Some people would say the Wolverine's pretty great. Then you get Apocalypse, not so great. But the same year Apocalypse came out, Deadpool came out. You went, you had a window where they had 3 great ones and a good one. And then they had Apocalypse, not so good. And then you get Deadpool 2, you get Logan, and then they peter out. But it was always pretty hit or miss until it really fizzled out at the end when the studio was imploding. So I think Fox has better reasons for why their universe had continuity issues because it was never designed to do that. DCEU, there was never a great run where things were good. There were multiple great runs with Fox. And DCEU could look to others and learn from them, and they chose not to. So there's no excuses for the mistakes that they made. Most of these clips are pulled from my Patreon live streams. I do about 6 live streams every single month. For $2 per month, $20 per year, you can get access to all the exclusive videos and live streams. For $5 per month, you get your name on my end card. At the top tier, you get a 30-minute video chat with me each month. The link down below in the description has more information.